Dan Delmar and Sarah Dehay in for Aaron and Natasha, who are on vacation. Hydro-Quebec now saying that we still have around 9,000 customers without power in the Montreal area, way down from what it was earlier this afternoon. Let's talk about some of the aftermath of yesterday's storm from the insurance perspective. A lot of people had sewer backups and stuff and damage at their homes, or were stuck under an underpass. I mean, things that you cannot prevent in many cases. Pierre Babinski, spokesperson and director of public affairs at the Insurance Bureau of Canada. And Mr. Babinski, hello.
Good afternoon.
So first, is there a vague estimate available for the damage caused in Montreal or Quebec yesterday?
Well, if we talk about wind, whatever its form, tornadoes, strong winds is covered. Any damage is covered by the basic home insurance policy. When we talk about water, sewer backups, water seeping through the foundation. And flooding our basement, that is usually covered through an endorsement that we add to our basic home insurance policy.
Okay, so that's typically an option that people have to take.
Yes. If in the case of power outages, people lose the content of their fridge or freezer, that is something also that is covered by the basic home insurance policy, subject to the deductible and to a certain amount written in the policy, but there is possibility to make a claim if they've lost food through the power outage.
Pierre, there was some overlap in the outages, a lot of them caused yesterday by technical problems in James Bay region. And then with the storms, there were then storm-related outages. And today we're kind of focused on the latter half of that today. So when someone loses power for a significant amount of time and they want to claim what's in the freezer and the fridge, do they have to specify like which one it is? Are those details important?
You mean in terms of the cause? The cause is not important. If you've lost power, it doesn't have to be through a storm. It could be it could be any other maneuver on the network by Hydro-Quebec or others. But and then you can claim. Make sure that you take pictures of the contents before throwing them out. That'll help the claim, especially given that these amounts these are usually handled by phone. So a couple of pictures and the claim could be settled on the phone fairly quickly.
Pierre Babinský is a spokesperson and director of public affairs at the Insurance Bureau of Canada. So yeah, taking pictures. So if we're talking about damage to the roof or to the basement because of the flooding and the rain, how many photos should we be taking of the damage? What kind of photos?
Well, and any picture that shows the damage or maybe the cause. If there were strong wind and the tree fell on our home, well, take a picture that shows where the tree landed on the home, and then take a couple of pictures inside to see what damage it caused. Then secure the area and call your insurer, and they'll probably send someone to look in person, but if not, at least you'll have that information to provide. So anything that shows your loss reasonably is sufficient.
Auto insurance question now. We were speaking with the City of Montreal, and they were saying, well, we should maybe start to warn motorists during these flash flooding events to avoid underpasses in Montreal that may be problematic. There's no system in place to formally warn Montrealers, and so some were driving, under Victoria, heading towards Jean Talon, places like that, water seeping into their cars. They're typically covered 100% for this kind of thing?
Well, it depends. For water, something like that, you would have to be covered more comprehensively. So for damage to your vehicle without collision, that's called the Chapter B, or when we say we're insured on both sides, that would usually be required. And people need to know that if water reaches a certain level, up to a certain level in their car, it could at certain point be declared a total loss.
Okay, but you're saying so people who may have driven into these underpasses without warning, without signals from police, the city, nothing. Some of these people might be on the hook for some damage.
Well, if they have insurance, it'll be covered. That usually is a type of accident that is subject to the deductible. But if they have if they have a Chapter B or the more comprehensive coverage, then they'll be covered for their car, whether it's just repairs or whether it's declared a total loss because the water reached too high a level inside the car.
Okay, Pierre Babinsky, spokesperson and director of public affairs at the Insurance Bureau of Canada. Thanks very much.
No, it's my pleasure.